Hello and welcome to episode 3 of LFC Focus. Last week Liverpool got 2 wins from 2, which means we're level on points at the top of the league and into the quarter-finals of the EFL Cup. Next up, Crystal Palace away. Let's go. Now, as we all know, Palace are a bit of a bogey team for Liverpool, and despite the lack of players like Yannick Bolasie and of course the infamous Dwight Gale, they still possess a lot of pace on the counter-attack and threat to hit us on the break through players such as Andros Townsend and Wilfried Zaha. They've also got Christian Benteke up front, who, prior to signing for us, was always a big problem for Liverpool's defenders and always caused us a lot of trouble when he was playing up front for Aston Villa. The only bonus this time out is the fact that Liverpool have Joel Matip at centre-back, who has proved so far this season that he's often plays best when in a one-on-one physical battle with a striker such as Diego Costa or Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So despite the problems that have been posed against us in the past against Crystal Palace that might crop up again this weekend, I still think it's likely that Liverpool will get the win and the 3 points this weekend. So here's my 3 reasons why I think we'll beat them. First of all, struggling against Crystal Palace has become a bit of a cliche for Liverpool in recent years, and if there's one thing we've done well this season, it's getting rid of these cliches that have been building up. For example, not performing against so-called smaller teams, particularly at home, stuff like Daniel Sturridge getting injured, and to a lesser extent, defending. Last time out, Liverpool did get the win, but it was in a very jammy way, obviously down to 10 men with a slightly dodgy penalty towards the end of the game, and it'd be nice to see us win a bit more comfortably at Selhurst Park this weekend. Now secondly, I imagine Jurgen Klopp is going to revert to the starting 11 that last played against Swansea on the 1st of October. Now this 11 hasn't played since then, largely due to injuries and also the EFL Cup, and I think the only change he's going to make from the West Brom team will be Gini Wijnaldum coming in for Emre Can. Now it's widely regarded that this is our best 11, and I think this weekend it's our best chance of getting 3 points. And lastly, not being first in my opinion should help Liverpool. Sort of lurking around 2nd, 3rd or 4th means that there's a lot of pressure and media glare off of us and onto other teams like Manchester City, and it should allow us to play a lot more freely and pick up a lot more wins than we would if we were in first place. Now moving on from Saturday's game and on to one of the biggest debates of recent weeks, particularly with Tuesday night's game. Who is Liverpool's best goalkeeper? Now Karius is the one who everyone assumed coming into the season would be our number 1 and first choice goalkeeper. He'd made a big name for himself in the Bundesliga, he took the number 1 shirt at Liverpool and had a pretty good pre-season to start off with. Obviously, since coming back from injury and into the Premier League, he's looked a little bit shaky so far this season and hasn't really convinced in any of his performances yet. Add to that our next few games include Crystal Palace and Watford. They're not the kind of games where you want a keeper who's unreliable in the air, as they will often try to dominate, particularly from scenarios like set pieces. Despite this, Karius is a confident player, and at the age of 23 there's plenty of room for improvement in his game. Just look at David De Gea, who had a terrible first season in England and struggled to adapt to the physical style of play, but is now one of the best keepers not just in the league, but in the world. Then there's the case for Simon Mignolet, who, when you look at this season alone, has been a lot more reliable in recent years. Add to that the fact that for the first time ever in his Liverpool career, he's got some proper competition to push him for the number 1 spot, and this could get some really good performances out of him that maybe we haven't seen before. However, there is the possibility that another error could knock his confidence massively and bring the standard of his performances right down. And add to that the fact that obviously he's 29 this season, he'll be entering his prime, so there's not much more room for improvement in his game. So if you ask me, Mignolet simply isn't good enough for the number 1 shirt at Liverpool, particularly if we want to be challenging for trophies and even the league title. And at his age, he's too old to improve massively, but too young to take on a more coaching role at the club like Alex Manninger has. At the moment, it looks like the plan is to move him on at the end of the season when Danny Ward comes back from his loan at Huddersfield, and then Karius and Ward will be the 2 keepers fighting it out for the number 1 jersey. Obviously, Karius is going to have the upper hand, having been at Liverpool for a year beforehand, but I think Ward is a good enough goalkeeper that there'll be some good competition between the 2 of them. So going with Karius isn't a massive surprise, but I'll leave a poll on Twitter for you to let me know what you think Liverpool should do with their goalkeeping situation this season. Until then, follow at LFC Focus TV on Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll see you next week when I'll be covering the build up to Liverpool versus Watford at Anfield. See you then, bye for now.